What's good, everybody? I'm BPC, and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Now, Conor McGregor is set to face off against Dustin Poirier at UFC 257. And I want to talk a little bit about the fight and how I see it possibly going. Now, if you recall, these two fought way back in the day, and I actually just rewatched the fight. Now, I wasn't aware that I watched the first time around, but then I do recall seeing the Yoel Romero fight in which he sat on the chair and recovered and then basically went ahead and got the knockout. And this fight actually took place afterwards. And then it started dawning on me, okay, I remember Conor McGregor had his hair in a ponytail. I actually watched this at a movie theater. So I had the big screen experience, and it was like, oh shoot, I did watch this Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor fight. So, it wasn't a long fight by any means. It was less than 2 minutes. And, they seemed pretty even, while the fight was going on. And then Conor McGregor, they got into a little scramble. Conor McGregor hit him, from what I saw, behind the head. It was a clear shot behind the head. Dustin Poirier fell over, and then Conor followed up with 2 hammer fists in the back of the head, and then caught him underneath. Joe Rogan basically said, in a scramble, these things happen. So, basically stating that it was fair game. But if, somebody were to get kicked in the balls, the referee would stop it. You know what I mean? So did I feel like they should have stopped it and allowed him to recuperate? Absolutely. But do I think it would have changed the outcome of the fight? I really don't. I think Conor McGregor still would have knocked out Dustin Poirier. But, at the end of the day, he did get the victory. Now, as they say, you're only as good as your last fight, or at least that's what some people say, but it's not always true. Now, if we look at Dustin Poirier and his fight against Dan the Hangman Hooker, it was a great fight. It was fight of the night, honors, or I would say it was a contender for fight of the night, for fight of the year, I should say. Now, when Dan the Hangman Hooker started off really aggressive, he utilized a more diverse striking ability with his punches and his kicks. The combination of that with the aggression actually equaled more success for Dan the Hangman Hooker. Now, when Dustin realized that he needed to bite down and get aggressive himself, that's when he started getting some success. But then he started getting wild. And I feel like when he got really wild, he was then missing a lot of shots. Now, I feel like this would be an opportunity for Conor McGregor to catch him. Conor's very elusive, and you don't want to start missing a whole bunch of wild shots because then Conor might bounce out, bounce in, and then boom, catch him and put him to sleep. Now, what worried me was that in this fight, Dustin Poirier really struggled to get the takedown against the Hangman. And I'm thinking like, all right, he needs to do something rather than just box with Conor because Conor's going to be the better striker in this fight. Now, Eddie Alvarez actually spoke on this topic and said that, if you don't know who Eddie Alvarez is, by the way, he's the former 155 champion. He's faced Conor McGregor and he's faced Dustin Poirier on 2 occasions, and he's now fighting on ONE FC. But basically, he gave his input on the topic, and he said that, Conor McGregor is the better wrestler and would probably win a wrestling match out of the 2. Now, he also said Conor is also the better boxer, and if they were to go down to the ground and it was to just be based on jiu-jitsu, they would probably even each other out. So, my thoughts on this is like, okay, well, if Dustin is going to try to win, it's probably in his best interest to wear down Conor McGregor, get him worn out, wrestle him for the first, 2 to 3 rounds, get him worn out, and then he's not going to have much pop on his shots when you go into round 4 or 5, and Dustin Poirier knows how to get his wind and knows how to continue on and have a 5-round battle. He did it against Max Holloway, he did it against, the Hangman, so I think the longer this fight goes, the better it's going to be for Dustin Poirier to get the decision victory at the least. Now, as far as Conor McGregor in his last fight, it was with Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and he started out extremely aggressive by running out there and throwing a punch, and he actually missed. A part of his knee caught Cowboy in the head, but if Cowboy had been looking to utilize a takedown method, he could have got Conor McGregor down to the ground, and, Donald Cowboy Cerrone is better at jiu-jitsu, so he probably would have had increased his chances on getting the victory. But instead, they actually ended up clinching, and that's when Conor McGregor started utilizing his shoulder shrugs that hit, Donald Cowboy Cerrone in his sinuses, or I should say in his nose, caused a lot of bleeding, and leveled him several times. Donald just didn't adjust and kind of kept throwing the shoulder, you know what I mean? And it laid some damage. And then Conor changed it up, mixed it up. You know, you're thinking Conor's going to go for the punches, and bam, goes for the kick, hits him square on the jawline, and Cowboy drops down to the ground. Conor's throwing the punches until the referee absolutely stops it. So this, you know, was kind of blaring to me because, like I said, the Hangman, you know, did really well in the beginning of his, you know, the first 2 rounds because he mixed it up. He was really diverse. If Conor comes out there and is really diverse, he could get the knockout fairly quickly. You know, that brawl between the Hangman and the Diamond, you know, Poirier, was great. Like I said, they ended up like just, it was like rock'em sock'em bots. Pop, 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 pop. You know, Poirier is not going to win the fight if he just wants to sit in the pocket and punch it out with Conor McGregor. Conor's not going to sit there and let you hit him in the head, but he will go ahead and unload when the time is right. So, you know, that's what worries me about this fight for Poirier, because if he's not going to be able to take Conor down and he's not going to have success sitting in the pocket, and then he's going to be wild when his shots, when he gets really aggressive at times, you know, this seems like a recipe for disaster. Now, Conor McGregor, on the other hand, you know, I think he has a lot of things going for him. Like I was stating earlier in the Donald Cowboy Cerrone fight. Have a lot more diversity into this fight. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to be real patient, I think, at times, and then tee off on him, you know. But then again, he could come in, you know, aggressive once again. And Poirier needs to be ready for Conor to come off being aggressive and try to take him down and wear Conor out if he were to get this victory. But as I see it moving from here, Conor McGregor will probably get the knockout in the first round, if not the second round. I don't see it go to a 5-round decision, but if it does go to a 5-round decision, there is a slight chance that Dustin Poirier would be able to pull it out. But like I said, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor getting the victory. Now, if they were to go 5 rounds, is it a guaranteed Poirier? Absolutely not. You know, Conor, you know, faced off against Nate Diaz in their second bout. And, you know, Nate Diaz, I think, has one of the best cardio or conditioning in the whole MMA community. And, you know, Conor was able to recuperate, you know, go in, you know, spurts, you know, fight, then take a break, fight, and then take a break. And I feel like if it's going to get to 5 rounds, you know, Conor's going to have to do that. But I definitely expect Conor to be very aggressive through rounds 1 and 2. If Poirier can get through rounds 1 and 2, then it's up in the air, and Conor's just going to have to make this a boxing match. He's probably not going to go for the knockout. He's probably just going to have to stick and move, and, you know, that's just basically where it's at. But like I said, Conor McGregor, first round knockout, and that's my official prediction on this fight. Go to the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Who do you see getting the victory? Is it going to be Dustin Poirier? Is it going to be Conor McGregor? You know, and what round, you know, and how are they going to do it? Don't forget to go to Competitive Origins MMA and make sure to hit the subscribe button. Okay? Ground and pound the like button and hit the notification bell so you can know when these videos go live. Go to competitiveorigins.com, type in promo code MMA57 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins Get It Done t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm BPC, and remember, you've been competing since conception. Whether you're competing against yourself or others, Competitive Origins.